You're listening to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all major podcasting networks. I'm your host, JMO! And today's friend is my wife and co-host. How's it going today, Sarah?
Hi, everyone. It's going great today.
Excellent. Are you all excited for today's episode of Exploring Anime with Friends?
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
All right. Today we'll be diving into the universe of Fate, but the series of Re:Zero, a psychological thriller isekai released in April of 2016. First, we will meet a wide variety of characters that have different relevance in different parts of the arc along the way. Then we will be diving into really the three different stories that make up the first season of Re:Zero. First, Subaru Natsuki's entry into this new fantasy world, then him getting settled into the house, realizing that he is a servant of a potential future ruler, and finally doing what he can to save those he cares about from this world's biggest threats. And if you like what you're hearing from us, remember to check us out on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. That button right down there.
Right there.
Somewhere. This whole thing begins, Subaru Natsuki.
Subaru.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about Subaru.
Where to begin?
Well, at the beginning,
yes,
right?
of course, at the beginning. So he's kind of just going through life.
Just kind of there,
Kind
right?
of there. I mean, wasting his life away. Maybe he's young, so maybe. He's just kind of like at a convenience store, getting dinner, reading manga off the wall he has no intention of actually purchasing. And that's what he's doing. He's lacking ambition.
Yeah, and there's really no friends around or anything like that. He's kind of generic student that doesn't have any real goals at the beginning. And that's something that actually gives him some problems throughout the course of the series. But he just starts to cross the street and suddenly he's standing in the marketplace in another world, right?
I'm assuming Truck-kun got him, but I don't think it actually showed it.
You don't have to actually die to be isekai'd, right?
I was just joking.
His theory was he got sent to another world as a hero, and obviously that opening scene, there's someone in the street and he's like, oh good, I'm going to reach out my hand and save them, and nothing happens. And a guard swoops in and rescues them and whatnot. He kind of thinks that he's been pulled in for an epic isekai journey.
He keeps waiting for that beautiful woman to come help him or that he can help.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he starts his journey in front of an Apple stand, right?
Yep.
With no money and a guy who has no tolerance for him being there.
I mean, the guy's nice enough, but he's just like, you're not paying customer, you can go. He wasn't necessarily being rude, but in that kind of setting, they're there to make money. They're not there to hang out with you.
It is rude to stand in front of somebody's cart if you have no intention to buy. So the land that he has landed in, Lagunica, they are on the verge of picking a new monarch. This is the first time in a long time where they actually have candidates that they have to elect from. So, and that's one of the things that's really kind of thrown this nation into a little bit of a whirlwind at this point in time.
Oh, yeah.
They have many different candidates, including one who's going to become our female lead, Amelia, and other significant ones that we're going to talk about along the way, including Karsten from the Krush camp. I don't know how much we're going to go into. Well, we're going to meet Felt too, but so she's a candidate. She's the hero of the people, sort of. No, not really. She is the complete anarchist,
she's the hero of herself,
who is being submitted, which is kind of, man, that's a whole different story. But we're going to learn more about Felt in just a little bit while. So there are 5 candidates in total, and they're all being put forward and recommended by knights. Are there any of the knights that you would like to talk about and introduce?
I mean, Reinhardt.
Tell us about Reinhardt.
Reinhardt is the knight as far as I'm concerned. He's the good guy. He's the one that's making sure people stay safe. I don't know. I liked him.
Yeah, he came across really...
Came across as a good dude, right?
He came across really great, but he also came across a little bit mysterious, him being the one who recommends Felt, right?
That completely threw me off. I'm not gonna lie. I have no clue why he wanted to include Felt in all this, and we'll explain again later why that's such a weird one to pick.
Well, it doesn't happen in season 1.
We
will tell you that.
Yeah, we don't know that season 1
story. Yeah. Because we're going to tell you a little bit more about Subaru in a moment.
Of course.
Another one who is very important to this first season is Jules. Julius. Want to talk to us a little bit about Julius?
I mean, he's kind of a jerk, but not a jerk too.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's the type of person where if you offend his pride or his position, he double barrels you.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. But he's really not a bad guy either. There's a moment that we don't like him. I think collectively we probably don't like him for just a moment, and then eventually it wraps up better.
But we also hate Subaru at the
We
same
do.
time. Like, so it's kind of like we don't like either person in the argument at that point in time.
That's very fair.
It's kind of like, just let the ceiling fall.
Who you rooting for? Injuries.
And then there's also Felix too, right?
Felix is interesting.
Felix is a very kind, compassionate person.
He/she is, yes.
No, he is a he.
He is a
just
he.
Cross-dresses.
Everything else screams she, but he is a he. No, Felix is very kind. And listen, I love a good healer. You know, someone that can actually heal and heal well. We like those kind of people. We need those kind of people.
And yeah, and as far as the candidates, we just kind of glazed over them before, but talk to us a little bit about Amelia.
So the big thing about Amelia, she's half elf.
Yep.
Which, I don't know, in some scenarios isn't terrible. In some scenarios, it's heinous. For her, unfortunately, that means she is a descendant or the possible Witch of Envy reincarnation or something like that. There's some heavy baggage with being a half elf, specifically with the silver hair like she has.
And tell us a little bit about the Witch of Envy, since you brought her up.
Oh, yeah, the Witch of Envy. Okay, so she killed all the other sins, and she's basically the big bad of the world.
And she is connected to Subaru's very unique power. I call it a power, call it a curse.
Man, that's a curse. I would rather die and stay dead.
This whole thing is the premise for the full series. Talk to us about Subaru's unique trait.
So Subaru has this very unfortunate, as far as I'm concerned, unique ability called Return by Death.
Yeah.
So whenever he dies, there's like a checkpoint that we as the audience don't know, he as the character doesn't know. He'll die and he'll instantly go back in time to that checkpoint.
Yep.
I want to say how horrifying that can be when the people you started to get some feelings for die around you and you die horrifically, and then you wake up and no one remembers a thing. The first time it happened, I was like, oh, good, he can like fix all the crap that happened. The second time it happened, I was like, this is like emotional, like scarring, like bad.
Yeah.
The third time it happened, it just like kept getting worse. And like by the time the third one happened, I was like, I would not want this power at all. Just let me die, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's harsh.
It only takes about 3 or 4 times for him to start to break. And by mid-season, he's
just about broken.
Very broken. Yeah. Before a very emotional scene happens, which we will cover when we get to that point in time in the show. He's gaining information every single time.
Oh, absolutely. He's learning things. He's getting a lot of stuff.
But it's information he can't readily say to people if it's something that couldn't have been known.
Yeah.
So that's where it all lies in, and he can't just come out and say that he comes back to life, because when he starts talking about his power, the witch's hand grips his heart, threatening to crush it. I would personally more classify this as a psychological horror. There's
definitely
a lot of things you can call it, but I do want to preface it by saying there are some very psychological moments sprinkled throughout the course of this first season and this series as a whole. And the other thing that we're just going to give you this right now, there's going to be hard spoilers along the way.
Oh, absolutely. You can't talk about this one without that.
Because there's so much mystery and suspense through the course of it, there's no way for us to hide everything that we would need to hide to not ruin your experience. So if you're getting gripped just by this power already, this is where I recommend you turn this off.
Go watch.
And you go watch it already. Well, this is where we're going to just start moving forward and start giving some of these spoilers. We don't have a complete body count for this first season.
We should have definitely checked it off.
Because a lot of characters die a lot of times. Subaru has, I would say, a solid 8 deaths in this first season.
Could be more. I don't remember. There was a lot.
Let's say 8 to 10. But in this opening scene, he runs on the first life. He runs into trouble in an alley. 3 bandits are just roughing him up and everything. And that's when Amelia and her familiar Puck, or her spirit father.
Their relationship's interesting.
Yeah, no, he calls her daughter several times throughout the final third of the season. They get into the alley and she does something to save him. So this is where he forms the attachment. She interrupts the whole thing because she had her signet stolen from her. The signet that allows her to run for the rulership. She thought that he was the one who stole it. he wasn't. However, he had information on someone who did steal it. He found out that the character's name was Felt. Yes, that's one of the ones who's going to be running for the rulership also, but she doesn't have that at this current point in time. So he gives the information, she saves his life, the attachment is formed, and they move forward throughout that whole thing. You want to tell us a little bit about their journey?
So, I mean, they make a pretty good team up for a little bit there, finding more information on which way Felt would have went and get to like the maybe seedier side of town. And they find out that there's a guy that not necessarily takes care of Felt, but takes care of the stuff that she has.
Old Man Rom.
Old Man Rom. So trying to be protective, Subaru's like, I'll go in first. Stark at this point in time, he goes in and he's looking around, and for a second there, it's just like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. This guy's really selling a lot of stuff. And then he sees this guy on the floor and there's blood everywhere. And he is like frozen for a moment, because what average teenager from like our world wouldn't be frozen for a moment.
Right.
And as he's turning to go, suddenly he realizes like he is mortally wounded. And he falls. And as he's like slowly dying, Amelia comes in. And then you see her fall. Watching it the first time, I was like, what is happening? Like, who's attacking from the shadows? I honestly thought it was Felt, because you don't know much about that character. So for a second there, I was like, what did that chickie poo do?
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's back at the marketplace, standing in front of that apple stall. And he's like, he's confused. We're confused. Everyone's confused, except for the apple guy.
Yeah. And it takes a little while for him to actually figure out what happened, because he goes through a few lives on this cycle, just trying to get through it. This is where I really want to point out. He went through that. If a normal person goes through a near-death moment with someone else, then there typically is an attachment of some sort that follows. And you could say, well, no, this wasn't a near-death moment. It was a death moment.
Death moment.
But he got to go past that death moment. So we can effectively call this like a near-death moment.
For him, it was near death.
So he already has that attachment to Old Man Rom and Amelia at this point in time. This is why it makes sense that he's so fiercely in love with Amelia, because he went through so much with her. But she's gone through nothing with him at this point in time.
No one remembers that happening except for him.
And he keeps on playing this life on because the thing that he knows, Amelia's going to die and Old Man Rom's going to die. And on the second life, he finds out that Felt's going to die too.
They all just die.
Everyone who he makes an attachment to in that world, except for the 3 people who give him a hard time in the alley.
Who cares about those guys?
So it goes through multiple times, and Subaru is doing whatever he can to correct it to where it doesn't happen that way. And then on the final time around there, he meets someone in the marketplace. When he is in the alley with the 3 losers, he shouts for help from the guard. Tell us the difference in the 4th life.
So this is the first time that we meet Reinhard.
Yeah.
And Reinhard just jumps in and saves the day. He seems like a totally great guy, doing totally great things. Good guard.
Yeah. And him and Subaru have a connection now. And when Subaru races forward to try to, because at this point in time, he's learned so much along the way to where he's actually using his cell phone to say it's a magical device to trade for the item from Felt before the whole process happens, before she meets with the person that's just going to kill them all. And he begins that process. Reinhard this time is within range of being helpful. Subaru and Amelia and Old Man Ron battle this assailant. They allow Felt to escape. Felt finds Reinhard and just explain the rest of that scene to us.
I mean, the whole fight is pretty great because Puck is involved, Ilya is involved. They're both really strong magic users, but the person they're going against, also a strong magic user. So it looks like they're about ready to lose again. And I would have been done with the series. Like, I would have been so over it if he died again. But then out of nowhere, in a blaze of glory, Reinhard appears and he takes care of it. And it's fantastic.
And this time around, he wakes up at a checkpoint where he's lying in a bed because he's been brought back by Amelia and by Beatrice. Tell us a little bit about the inhabitants of Lord Roswell's manor.
Oh my gosh. I don't know where Roswell picked these people up from, but they are all very unique. So you mentioned Beatrice. She's a magic user. I don't know what her specific role is in...
She's in charge of the Forbidden Library.
Yes, that's right. She's in charge of the Forbidden Library.
which moves location all the time in the manor, and she's the
So
only
goofy.
person. She stays in it and guards it.
So you have her, and the way she talks is just fun.
I suppose, yeah.
That exact thing. Every other sentence is, I suppose, at the end of it. A very like,
See, now I never actually got it as every other sentence.
It
I
seems
I
like
have
it.
it as a comma at the end of the sentence with the I suppose following it.
Yeah, well, it's just everywhere. Everything's, I suppose.
You know what else is everywhere? I kind of see Dubby ads all over social media all the time. But it's the truth of the matter is it's a good energy drink.
It is.
And it's a lot cleaner, and it has no preservatives. It has no sugar added. And frankly, the flavors are pretty good. I'm drinking their fruit punch flavor right now. And yes, it is very good. If you want to get some for yourself, you should definitely check it out, Dubby.com, and put in our code Exploring Anime 524. That's Exploring Anime, all caps, 524, and you get 10% off.
Yay.
And if you like what you're hearing from us, remember to check us out on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. And ReZero, you could basically watch anywhere. We watched it on Crunchyroll. Talk to us a little bit more about the manor.
So there's also the twins, Rem and Ram. They're maids.
Demon maids.
Demon maids.
Adorable demon maids.
I actually love them. The way everyone talks in this manner is so uniquely different, except the twins talk similarly, but they're also different together. So they're like, sister, look at this guy. He's just there in the bed. Like, that's not what they said, but I couldn't think of anything direct. But that's the way they say it, unless one of them's mad. If there's something going wrong and like one gets hurt, the other is fierce and intense. It doesn't matter which one's hurt. The one that's not hurt will be in your face and they will take care of the situation.
Yeah, yes, they will.
I love them both. I love Rem more, but I love them both. And well, Lord Roz, he's leading the manor. He's pledged his support to Amelia, but that's really all.
It's also fair to point out that she's the only candidate who doesn't have the support of a royal knight.
Yes, this is very important.
And the truth of the matter is, they're all very hesitant because they think that there is a chance that Subaru is a spy from one of the other groups.
Which makes sense. I mean, with all the political intrigue going on, you have to keep your guard up.
And Subaru just doesn't do a great job on blending in or making the right allies. So on the fourth night, on his stay in the manor, things happen. A curse starts almost creating a vertigo room effect, and something keeps on killing him.
That part was creepy, where it was just like, suddenly he just woke up and it was the previous day or 4 days ago. I'm just like, we didn't even see who killed him. We barely caught anything the first time it happened.
Yeah. You find out by the third time around that it is Rem that's killing him because she officially doesn't trust him and believes that he's doing something to spy. And the big thing on that third life is that instead of asking to be a servant in the manor, he asks to be a guest in the manor. It sends to a confrontation with the two of them in the forest, a battle back and forth. You start to realize that Subaru has a lot of work to do to salvage his life. So what does he do the next time around? He runs away because he's going to keep an eye from the distance, but someone still dies.
Yeah. Rem dies. He goes back and Ram's like in tears, and this will be the first time that you really get anything but the sister like tone from Ram, and she just goes ballistic. She's blaming Subaru. Amelia's trying to protect Subaru, but like,
no, Amelia's not trying to protect. Beatrice is trying to protect.
That's right.
Because Beatrice and Subaru talked at the beginning of that day, and she recognizes that he is cursed at that point in time.
Yeah. And for a minute there, Ram and Beatrice, like, they're going crazy at each other. What's going on? Something's got to change.
And that's when Subaru does the heroic sacrifice, and he jumps off a cliff to reset that life. And this time around, he's trying to figure out how the curse happened. And he assumes, after talking to Beatrice, that it happens at the marketplace when him and Rem go, because that's the only thing that was different about that day. Previous days he went by himself, but him and Ren went this time. This life, he decides he wants to be a servant again instead of a guest. Meanwhile, all this time he's learning how to read, he's learning different things, he's learning how to cook, he's learning how to clean, and he's getting better with all that. So he's getting all that experience that's stacking up. And this time he's doing so many more things right that he's starting to become friendly with Rem and Ram. And when they go to the marketplace together, after they get back, he has Beatrice analyze him for where the curse is, and it's where a dog bit him on the hand. At this point in time, the big battle ensues. They go out, they seek out the Mod Beast. Subaru really learns a little more about his power. Because of his curse, Mod Beasts come after him.
Yeah, they target him. There's a smell.
But him, Rem, and Rom do battle against these beasts in the forest, and they're able to destroy everything, thus making the curse unable to activate.
Yay! Happy ending forever, right?
Yeah. No, just another new checkpoint.
Which is, I mean, at least good.
Yeah. Yeah. It does
Every time he died, I was like, oh my gosh, please tell me some of that saved.
It establishes him as a member of Roswald's household.
Yes.
And now he's a trusted person. And it is time to head to the Capitol with Mealy, because this is the first time the candidates are all getting together.
The candidates are all starting to gather together, and Amelia tells Subaru, don't come. Just, this is between me and them.
And the nobles and the royal knights, Subaru would not be welcome there.
Yeah, he's not high in the totem pole at all.
And she also knows that they're going to give her a hard time. They're going to compare it to the Witch of Envy.
Mhm.
She knows how Subaru will react.
Oh, yeah, poorly, by the way.
Yeah.
And does Subaru listen? Of course not.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was kind of going to listen at first,
Yeah,
but then
for a minute.
then he got invited by one of the other candidates.
That was smart on that candidate's part.
Oh my
they
goodness,
knew.
right? They
Oh,
had to know that he was going to lose cannon when he was in there.
yeah.
And man, that meeting, it's just so much full of tension because people are, as far as they're concerned, Melia is evil.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Reinhardt pulls the stunt of sponsoring Felt and giving her a shot to it when she is just a poor person in the kingdom. And you start to see true colors of everyone coming out. You see how Julius, who he is pledged his support to, you see how Felix is pledged his support to the Cruise camp, and everyone has a knight supporting them except for Amelia. And then Subaru just comes out
And just opens
because
his
he's
mouth.
tired of them saying crap about Amelia. What does Subaru do there?
I mean, he just makes himself look bad, really. He's like, I'll be the knight, like, pretty much. And that just is kind of like a backhand to the face to all the knights that are actually there. These are people that have trained for years and done some pretty cool, crazy things to get to the spot that they're in. He's just like, I'll be her knight out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's not the friendly way you're putting it. It's
Oh, no,
with
that's fair.
venom. It's with aggression.
That's fair, yeah.
And he's putting them in their place. And Julius does not like that.
I mean, no one would like that.
What does Julius do?
He challenges into a duel.
Yeah.
And he kicks his butt.
Breaks multiple bones. They're fighting with wooden swords. And he just humiliates him. And when he finally wakes up in his room after a lot of healing, this is where a conversation happens with Amelia.
It's pretty tough conversation. They start with just kind of going back and forth a little bit, and he's getting emotional, incredibly emotional, kind of manic, almost aggressive, and she can't understand why, because he's gone through so much with her that she hasn't with him.
Yeah.
And like, he doesn't want to lose her, and he just wants to hold on to her, and she doesn't understand why he's acting this way or being this way. And the end of the conversation is pretty much like, I'm gonna do the best thing I can for you. I'm just gonna leave. You're going to stay here and heal. And I'm going to go back to Roswell's Manor.
And Rem stays with him.
Yeah, because someone needs to stay by and help the poor guy. He's been
Yeah.
through a lot, clearly.
And after taking a little while to recover, him and Rem hit the marketplace and they go to the guy who sold the apples initially. And that's where the new checkpoint happens. He didn't die on the life where he screwed up his reputation, where he screwed up his relationship with Amelia, where he embarrassed himself. And a new checkpoint happens. And this is where you start to realize it's like, oh, this series is really well written.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have let him redo all that, but
Yeah.
no, he's got to live with that now.
He goes a few episodes span, like probably a solid 4 episodes without the death. And those are the episodes in which he just damages everything, what seems
Just
to be
makes it worse.
beyond repair. And on the next life, he is getting himself in further trouble with the nobles. He is constantly making his way back to the manor to find everyone dead, to find the village slaughtered with the kids in that he's gotten close to find Amelia dead. A few times he gets claimed by the cultists along the way. He runs into the Archbishop of Sloth serving the Witch of Envy.
So one of the creepiest characters.
A few times him and Rem get tortured to death. A few times they get killed by cultists. A few times they get killed by Puck for allowing Amelia to die. Like, there's no escape, because at this point in time, the reputation is completely damaged in the city. He manages to always make that worse and always end up in a spot where he can't do anything. He can't get allies until finally one thing changes it. He is on a cart with Otto, who is just a fun character who doesn't play too much of a role, with the exception of he gets him to the right spot here, and he gets him to the right spot in the final episode. What attacks that night?
White whale.
Yeah.
I was like, what? There's a white whale. We are landlocked, I think. Where is this whale coming from? The sky. Freaking giant white whale can fly. And it's going after them. More specifically, Subaru, because the curse.
Yeah. Yep.
So Rem tries valiantly to get them to escape. And when Subaru's just kind of like freaking out because he realizes the curse is drawing the right whale, Otto's like, you're the reason this thing's chasing us? It's you? And it's like, why don't you just die? And pretty much shoves him off the cart.
But this is not until after Rem has been written out of existence by the white whale.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Oh, that was so brutal. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Rem is somehow written out of existence. He's the only one that remembers her.
Yeah. And this is like the episode where the cause of his death is injury stacking up with more or less a broken heart at this point in time. And this is the second to last death of his that we see in the first season. And at the beginning of the next episode, he's like, let's run away together, Rem. Let's just go.
I was for it. I was so for it.
And Rem professes her love for him in a beautiful speech and moment. And she's like, but I won't run away with you, though, because I don't see you smiling when you're asking.
Yeah.
And she knows he loves Amelia.
I love Rem so much.
She's such a kind-hearted individual. Best character of the series. Well, no, it's either her or Wilhelm.
Yeah, Wilhelm's
who we haven't
sweet.
really talked to. And she's like, the Subaru Natsuki I know, he fights. He comes back and he fights. And Subaru realizes he can use the information of the white whale to negotiate with the Krush camp to get Felix, Wilhelm, and Lady Krush on his side. And he forms an alliance offering information. He does what he has to do to get an army to fight against the white whale. And after he becomes the hero that leads them to victory versus the white whale, they are more than willing to follow him into battle against the cultist of the Witch of Envy. And really, the writing was just brilliant. It was set up in such a way to where at times you're wondering, did he hit a checkpoint on this one? Will he die on this life and not tarnish his reputation? Oh, wait, he didn't? He stayed alive here? You're constantly wondering, where's the checkpoint? You're constantly wondering, how will this one end? Will this one end? So on and so forth. The writers do a good job. The characters are good. The animation's good. It's just an excellent anime, in my opinion.
Definitely.
And one of my favorite isekai of all time. How about you?
I mean, I prefer things a little less kind of gritty. I'll admit it. I prefer things a little more lighthearted. Give me some Boxo or something like that. Something goofy. But honestly, it's excellent. It was really good. It was really well done. I wish him and Rem would get together. It's never going to happen. I know it. Just the way the series is. But like as a whole, it was gripping. It was good. It kept me on the edge of my seat. And that's what you want in something described as a thriller. You want to be like right at the edge of your seat wanting to know what's going to happen. It was good.
So once again, we met some of the great characters that really comprise the world of ReZero, and we got to learn who Subaru was and the power that makes everything possible, relevant, and tragic all at the same point in time. Then we went into some of the different phases of how he adapted to this new world, how he got to meet Amelia and become part of the Mathers household, how he ultimately damaged his reputation to restore his name as a hero by the end of the first season. We hope you had as much fun exploring the first season of ReZero as we have, and consider watching this anime. Bye! So if you like what you heard today, make sure you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your podcast. Listen to all of our J-Mill for Real podcasts, and hit us up on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Once again, this was Exploring Anime with Friends. Let's explore together. And now for a word from our sponsors. And today's show was brought to you by Dubby Energy, a modern approach to energy drinks with no sugar, dyes, or fillers added. Dubby Energy, be better. And use code ExploringAnime524 for 10% off your order. That's ExploringAnime524, one word, all capital letters, for 10% off your latest Dubby Energy order. Link listed in the show notes.